We're joined in our studio with radio pioneer, radio talk host pioneer, Alex Jones. Welcome to INN, Alex.
Hey, it's great to be here. Big fan of what you guys do.
I'm a big fan of what you do, too. Most of our crowd comes from the social justice orientation. They don't really know about Alex Jones. How did you get into this, and what is your basic position on the coming together of the left and the right in this country, how we formed the new alliance?
I mean, people would call me a conservative because I was against Bill Clinton, the things he was doing, and then George Bush got in office and I was against him, so now I'm a communist. Listen, I don't believe in left and right. I believe in liberty versus tyranny, and I'm against the police state, I'm against the oppression, I'm against the warmongering, and I'm against the loss of our national sovereignty. I'm against basically everything that George W. Bush and the criminals that control him are doing. So whatever label people want to give me, they can. Truth movement, libertarian, liberal, conservative, paleo-conservative. I think there is a merger. The old paradigm, which was a false paradigm, is being shattered, and we're seeing a true populist movement across left-right borders, really in a huge melting pot right now, and that's got the establishment scared because the people really are coming together more than ever. They see the military-industrial complex as the real threat. They understand that Bush and the Democrats as well, the leaders, are puppets and controlled, and this is a very exciting time to be alive.
Unfortunately, you've been called an alarmist by some. How do you respond to those critics?
Well, I am an alarmist. We have official White House memos where they say they can torture children in front of their parents. Bush has signed the North American Union. We're losing our sovereignty right now. The evidence is clear. It's declassified that our government has staged many terror attacks throughout history. We have many declassified examples of this now, like Operation Ajax in '53 to overthrow Mossadegh in Iran, where Kermit Roosevelt staged terror attacks. We have other examples of this, like the Gulf of Tonkin, where they staged a fake attack on a ship, and then that brought us into war. And of course, Operation Northwoods, the official U.S. government document outlining 9/11 style attacks against U.S. cities we blamed on foreign enemies, Cuba and the Soviet Union. So yes, reality is alarmist. And so I am an alarmist. We have a criminal black op squad elite that seized control of our government that is butchering the Bill of Rights and Constitution wholesale. This country has gone more down the drain in the last 6-7 years than it had in the last 100. Everything that makes this country great is being decimated right now. So yes, I'm trying to raise an alarm bell, like Paul Revere, with millions of other Americans, black, white, old, young, liberal, conservative, that know how serious things have gotten.
Just for our viewers, how did you get into this? What got you started into journalism in the form that you're doing it?
Sure. I mean, my parents are well-educated folks. My mom's into history. So growing up, I would read a lot of history books. I found them very entertaining. Truth is stranger than fiction. And then I went to college in Austin, and they would tell me that world government was good, giving up my freedoms were good. It was, fake liberal stuff. And then I started reading what the New World Order had said they were going to do, and it was take our freedoms and enslave us and oppress us. And so I started trying to educate the public about that. And about 12.5 years ago, I started an Access TV show, got a local radio show, then a syndicated radio show, and now I have PrisonPlanet.com and Infowars.com, my two big websites. There's also JonesReport.com. And what we do there is I have a bunch of writers and folks on my team, and we also go out and shoot video. People send us video around the country, and we put together weekly reports, and we write articles and analysis that cuts right across political boundaries, and we cover what's really happening, and the people are very, very, very hungry for that. That's why your show's so popular.
We've just experienced the 5th anniversary of 9/11. You were seen yesterday with a bullhorn down across from where the World Trade Center stood. You had quite a crowd going there. What do you think are the most important issues people should know about 9/11 on this 5th anniversary if they're searching for answers?
I challenge folks out there that still may be doubting to just go do the research on their own. If you do serious, honest research and look at the official 9/11 story, you will learn very quickly it's a fraud. It's a lie from end to end. Then as you study even deeper and look at what's happened in the past and history, you learn that it is criminal elements of our own government, the global corporations that control our government, that are staging terror attacks. You learn that the Council on Foreign Relations openly wrote memos saying we need terror attacks. You learn that the PNAC documents were written by Dick Cheney and others saying how helpful this new Pearl Harbor would be. you then look at the mechanics of the attacks themselves and realize it was not orchestrated by 19 people being commanded from a cave. And 9/11 is the foundation, the foundational event on which the domestic police state is being built to seize the United States as an engine of global empire and oppression and neo-colonialism. And we are in an age of neo-fascism, hyper-neo-fascism. I believe that if George Bush and his controllers have their way, we will end up being more destructive as a nation than even Nazi Germany was. I am horrified of what's happening. The fact that even the Houston Chronicles reported they're building FEMA camps for American citizens. The fact that they've set up Northcom with the military to oversee the country. The fact that they're federalizing our police. The fact that they're doing all of this. 9/11 is the excuse for that. And every year, George Bush and his minions, they go out to Ground Zero and pose as heroes and get reflected glory from the firemen and police and EMS and emergency workers as if they're somehow our heroes. And every year, the very people that all the evidence shows are behind 9/11 grandstand as our saviors. It is so sick. We have to come here each year and address it and ensure that at least some of the alternative views about 9/11 get out there into the mainstream media and the press. And this year, all the activists I talked to agree was the biggest success ever. It was just absolutely amazing. We had a presence all over town. Over 1,000 people marched on the morning of 9/11, and then about 450 later in the day. There were people all over the city, over 3,000 T-shirts total that were saying investigate 9/11 or 9/11 was an inside job. And it made it in a lot of newspapers and even on national television. So we're breaking through that Berlin Wall of corporate-controlled press. And it shows us that the alternative media is burgeoning, is exploding, is growing, and it's also forcing the mainstream media more and more to have to address what we're doing.